What if I told you that you don't have to be rich, or retired, or marry into another country to legally live abroad for an entire year? Right now, dozens of countries are essentially competing to have you move there. Some will let you stay for 12 months on a single application. A few will barely tax you while you're there, and one of them lets American citizens just show up and stay for a full year with no visa at all. This is not a scam. It is not illegal, and it is absolutely not only for tech millionaires and trust fund kids. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which countries, how the rules actually work, who qualifies, and the one giant catch about the words tax-free that nobody on TikTok will ever tell you. Let's get into it. First, why is this even happening? Why would a country hand a stranger a year-long welcome mat? Because remote work quietly changed everything. A whole generation can now earn a full Western salary from a laptop anywhere on Earth that has decent Wi-Fi. And governments figured out something genuinely clever. If they let those remote workers move in, those workers pour Western money into local rent, local restaurants, local shops, local everything, without ever taking a single local job. It's basically importing wealthy, well-behaved customers who leave when their money's spent. So over the last few years, more than 60 countries have launched what are called digital nomad visas. Special permits designed specifically for people who work online for companies and clients based back home. It is one of the biggest, quietest shifts in the entire history of travel. And it means the old fantasy of living on a beach, or in some gorgeous European city, for a whole year is now just a paperwork problem, not a fairy tale you tell yourself on a Monday. Let's start with the wildest one, the country I teased in the hook, Georgia. And no, not the US state. The country of Georgia, tucked right between Europe and Asia, with jaw-dropping mountains, a winemaking tradition thousands of years old, incredible food, and a buzzing dirt-cheap capital city called Tbilisi. Here is the part that sounds made up. Georgia lets citizens of many countries, including the United States, enter and legally stay for up to a full year with no visa required whatsoever. You just show up at the airport and walk in. No application, no lawyer, no fee, no months of waiting. On top of that, Georgia runs a tax system that in some cases treats foreign earned income very favorably, which is a huge part of why it quietly became a magnet for remote workers, freelancers, and online entrepreneurs from all over the world. Low cost of living, a whole year of legal stay handed to you on arrival, and a friendly setup for online income. For a lot of people, it is simply the single easiest move abroad door on the entire planet. But Georgia is just one option on a very long menu. Now, maybe Georgia isn't your dream. Maybe you picture Europe. The cafes, the trains, the old cobblestone cities, the weekend hops to a new country. Good news, several European nations now roll out the red carpet too. Portugal has become the absolute poster child for this, offering a digital nomad visa that can actually lead to longer-term residency down the road, in a country with a stunning coastline, mild year-round weather, a low cost of living by Western European standards, and huge, well-established communities of remote workers already on the ground, especially in Lisbon, Porto, and the surf towns along the coast. Spain launched its own digital nomad visa as well, opening the door to living in places like Barcelona, Valencia, Madrid, or the sun-soaked Canary Islands, in some cases with reduced tax rates during the first few years. And these are not scrappy backpacker visas for kids passing through. They are built specifically for people who want to genuinely live somewhere. A year, 2 years, more, legally, comfortably, while keeping the remote job they already have. Or maybe you want warmth, beaches, and rock-bottom prices. Thailand rolled out a long-stay visa aimed squarely at remote workers and digital nomads that can cover multi-year stays, opening the door to living in Bangkok, chilled-out Chiang Mai, or a tropical island for a serious stretch of time. Indonesia has leaned into the same thing for the Bali crowd. And it's not just Asia. Across Latin America, countries like Mexico, Costa Rica, and Colombia have their own long-stay and nomad-friendly pathways, often with a low bar to entry and an incredible cost of living. Even the Gulf got in on it. The United Arab Emirates offers a remote work visa that lets you base yourself in a place like Dubai. The point is simple and kind of amazing. Whatever your dream setting looks like, snowy mountains, a warm beach, a grand European capital, a jungle town, there is very likely a country, right now, with an official, legal pathway to let you live there for a year or more as a remote worker. The doors are genuinely open, which brings us straight to the part that everyone gets dangerously expensively wrong. Here's the catch. And it is a big one, so really listen closely, because this is the part that can cost people thousands. When someone says, live abroad, tax-free, they almost always mean that the host country won't tax you much, or at all. And that part can be completely true. But If you are a US citizen, there's a rule that genuinely shocks people the first time they hear it. America taxes its citizens on their worldwide income, no matter where on earth they happen to be living. Move to a beach in Portugal, a valley in Georgia, an island in Thailand. And the IRS still expects a US tax return every single year. That is the one detail those Get Rich Living Abroad videos conveniently, suspiciously always skip rich living abroad videos, conveniently. Now, there is a real legitimate tool called the Foreign Earned Income Exclusion that can let qualifying Americans exclude a large chunk of their foreign earned income from US tax if they meet strict conditions about how many days they actually spend outside the country. It can genuinely significantly lower your bill, but it has hard rules, real limits, and paperwork, and it is absolutely, positively not automatic. You have to qualify and you have to file for it. So let me be totally, completely straight with you here, because this is people's actual money and legal status on the line, not a vibe. I am not a tax advisor, and I am not an immigration lawyer, and nothing in this video is personal advice for your specific situation. Visa rules and tax laws change constantly, and they depend heavily on the details: your income, your type of work, exactly how long you stay, your citizenship, and even which US state you last lived in, because some states keep trying to tax you too. So before you make any real move, talk to an actual cross-border tax professional and read the official government sources for the specific country you are eyeing, not a random comment or a viral clip. The people who pull this off successfully treat it like the serious, life-size decision it genuinely is. Do that, and the upside on the other side is honestly life-changing. Because just think for a second about what this actually unlocks. Instead of burning your one precious week of vacation once a year and coming right back to the same walls, you keep your remote job and your full income, but your rent quietly drops. Your surroundings completely transform, and your entire ordinary life becomes an adventure that just happens to include work. Picture finishing your workday and walking straight out into Lisbon at golden hour, church bells and tiled streets, or a green Georgian mountain valley, or a warm Thai island at dusk. Your money often stretches dramatically further, which means your savings can actually grow while you're living somewhere incredible instead of shrinking. And you come out the other side of a year like that, a genuinely different, wider, more capable person. This is the exact thing that separates a tourist who visits the world from someone who has actually lived in it. And it is quietly available to far, far more people than ever realize the option is even on the table. So, who can actually do this? Let's get concrete, because it's more people than you'd think. If you have a fully remote job, you're an obvious candidate. If you're a freelancer or you run an online business with clients back home, even better, you're exactly who most of these visas were designed for. Most of these countries want to see two basic things: proof that your income comes from outside their borders, and proof that you earn above some minimum monthly threshold, which varies a lot from country to country. Some also want health insurance and a clean background check. What you usually do not need is to be wealthy, to speak the local language, or to have some special skill. If you can prove you are on a steady remote income and you won't be a burden, you are, for a huge number of these programs, already qualified. The barrier is almost never money. The barrier is that most people simply never realize this is real and never start the paperwork. So how do you actually begin without drowning in it? Step 1. Get brutally honest about your income source, because that's what every one of these visas hinges on. Step 2. Pick your setting first. Then match it to a visa if you want mountains and cheap. Georgia jumps right out. If you want Europe and structure, look hard at Portugal or Spain. If you want warm and long-term, look at Thailand or Indonesia. If you want Latin America, look at Mexico or Costa Rica. Step 3. Go read the official government immigration page for that one exact visa, not a random blog, not a YouTube comment. The actual government site, because that is the only place the real current requirements actually live. Step 4. Budget for the boring but critical stuff: health insurance, proof of funds in the bank, and that one tax consultation with a professional. It's boring, yes, but that boring checklist is the entire difference between a dream trip and an expensive disaster. And here is the bigger picture, the thing I really want you to sit with for a second. For almost all of human history, the accent of where you happen to be born basically decided where you would spend your entire one life. That is quietly, permanently breaking right now. For the first time ever, an ordinary person with a laptop and a remote income can more or less choose their country the way previous generations chose an apartment. Try one, live there a year, move on if it's not the one. The nomad visa boom is really just the world's paperwork slowly catching up to that brand new reality. You do not have to wait until you're 65 and finally retired to go live somewhere beautiful. The tools to do it in your 20s and 30s already exist, today, right now. Most people simply never realized the door was sitting there, unlocked the whole time. Now you do. So, back to the promise I opened with. No, you do not have to be rich, or retired, or married in. Yes, dozens of countries will legally let you live inside them for a year, and one of them lets Americans stay a full year with no visa at all, just by landing. And that magic phrase, tax-free? It's half true, and now you know exactly which half. The host country may barely touch you, but back home is still watching, and you handle that cleanly with the right tools and a real professional, not a 30-second clip. The fantasy of living abroad isn't a fantasy anymore. It's a checklist, and you just got the first honest draft of it. If the simple idea of choosing your own country lit something up in you, subscribe. I break down the real, unglamorous logistics of living and traveling smarter every single week. And if you want to see where all of these remote workers are quietly escaping to, when the summer heat gets brutal, a genuinely unexpected travel trend where people are flying somewhere cold on purpose, that video's on your screen right now. Go watch it.